Namaste, my magic makers, and welcome to Soul Horoscope SuperScope Weekly Report. My name is Christopher Witecki. I coin myself as the Sensei to Sirius Joy because I like to help everyone stand in their joy. I'm on a mission. I think we can bring Sirius Joy to planet Earth. I think we have the technology, I have the capability. Thinking of a $6 million man now in my head. And I'm here to help you stand in yours. Now, just so you know, we're in a SuperScope because it serves more than one personality. If your sun is in Pisces, if your rising sign is Pisces, or if your Venus is in Pisces, all three will help you. And if your Venus and rising isn't in Pisces, if you watch the scope that pertains to your rising, you'll get a long-term story of what's going on in your life. That's a long-term private story. The sun in Pisces is the short-term what is happening now. Now, what's happening now is this. The sun is in Cancer, and this week, honestly, I'm not being dramatic, is the week you must decide to go with your heart or you are screwed for 12 years. Just saying. You're stepping into the I love state of awareness. And I've been thinking about Pisces a lot before I got on camera about this because Pisces are interesting. You know, you're always one fish swimming one way, one fish swimming the other. So what does that mean? Well, it means you're always one foot basically with God and one foot on earth. So you're the God service providers as far as I'm concerned. You're basically a crystal that's sent to an environment to bring God perspective to that environment. So you're kind of, as far as spiritual is concerned, you're God's priests, honestly. And even if you're drunk in a bar or you're having sex with a random stranger, which you know is common, you are bringing God to that situation. I got to be honest. I do a lot of readings for Pisces. Now, that said, you do all this God work. But do you always follow your heart? Do you always follow what your heart wants, what your heart personally wants? Not your desire for pleasure, which is huge because you want to escape spirit sometimes, but what your heart really wants. Are you on the path of your heart? The truth is that Pisces are empaths, natural born. If you're a young chapter 1 Pisces, you're unaware, not good at it. If you're a master Pisces, you are good at it. The master Pisces tend to shut off because they don't want to be so sensitive and connected. The junior Pisces tend to overdo it and get hurt. You are dealing with the idea of being spiritual and human at the same time, and you are basically showing the rest of us how to do it. That said, if you are afraid of creating ripples, which is what you're here to do, and if you're afraid of creating ripples because you just don't want to deal with the feeling of the kids reacting, then you are holding yourself back, my friend. That's what I'm here to say. You have to, if you want to move forward, deal with your emotional insecurity around following your heart's desires and deal with it now. I'm telling you, as your Sensei to Sirius Joy and the Pied Piper stuff, I'm here to help everyone go down that path of joy. This is your clock, all right? Let's look and get a little deeper on the situation. Getting serious. The sun passes Pluto this week. And so what that means is that the back and forth between your heart and what society told you to do or the world told you to do or whatever, that back and forth finally does get quiet, thank goddess, leaving you free to listen to your heart. Now, there are so many Pisces I can bring up about this whole heart thing. Here's one, Steve Jobs, all right? Steve Jobs, obviously magic in a bottle, but the only time he was really living in his total heart was when he was alone with a machine, right? Everyone reported that he was cold as ice. That love never came out. It was, in a machine it was working fine. And that had to do probably with his discomfort of dealing with certain emotional situations. If you watch the movie, you'd see that too. I'll give you another idea. Michael Eisner, who was a former president of Disney, everyone says that he was a heartless son of a bitch. And he was a Pisces. Yes, Disney grew, but many creative people were hurt, apparently. So I'm just saying what was said. I'm saying that Pisces, because they're empaths, have a tendency to not follow their heart or live in their heart, even though they're very spiritual, even though they bring that philosophical twist. Are they bringing the juice, which means are you enjoying the ride? That's what it comes down to. We'll get deeper to that in Serious Joy. I just had to get serious with you. So this week, the sun goes from 13 to 19, the grand square breaks, and really most importantly, whatever your fears are over money will finally end. That's my prediction this week. Jupiter speeds up. So the reason why all this happens is Jupiter is pushing fast, really forward for the love story and your personal dreams to happen. So The sun never even crosses Jupiter in this transit, ever. So we never really ever feel the full intensity of what the universe is trying to get you to do. But I'll say this, I'll tell you more about this in the farm. It's about you changing lifetime stories. Mercury is racing ahead, so any questions you have about emotion and family will be answered this week. And finally, the week does climax in a full moon episodic, which I'll talk about in the Sirius Joy Farm, where you have to finally face, like I said, the struggle between what society says and what your heart wants. And I mean finally. This isn't blowing smoke here, Pisces. Now, coming up, I've got a serious question for you. I've got the Sirius Joy Farm and a serious present for me, all after this mini-mercial. This week in Soul Garden 8.0, in our new super blog Namaste Today section, check out Mary Inchineri. She's a Grandmaster Cancer, and she's back to help you face the final wrap-up of Jupiter in Cancer. Then hop over to Modern Goddess, where we have our guest writer, Jen Jurarsik. She's an independent female filmmaker, and she's going to tell you how she steps into her power. And lastly, don't forget, I've got a special surprise in each of 12 horoscopes, as well as a little survey. All that and more in the new Soul Garden 8.0. Howdy. How you doing there, little Pisces? Welcome to Sirius Joy Farm. Now, you're going to find that I am crazier and crazier every week because this is designed to inspire you to live in your heart. In fact, the rule is adult 5 years old and up, because I believe that you have to seriously focus on being in your heart in order to be happy. And we're in a place where you in particular, little fishy, are getting your opportunity to ascend upward. Pisces have the opportunity to grow or to shift lifetime patterns. And if you had a personal reading with me, you know that I talk about Pisces have an A story and a B story, and one's based on one set of lives and one's based on the other set of lives. And I can usually see those lives for you and report on them, by the way, which is always fun to know. But in this particular moment here, as we look at this full moon coming up, bum, bum, I believe this is the opportunity for you to shift lifetimes and head up even higher to Sirius Joy. For those Pisces who have the courage to follow their heart and self-love, which is what I'm going to preach here in just a minute, I believe you're going to ascend upward. Now, this is how it works. God and the Sun and Jupiter for a year have said self-love has got to amp up for Pisces. Now, self-love is an action, Pisces. I got to tell you, it's not an idea. It's not an award you got. It's not that she or he loves you. It's that you love you and you love being you. So you have 1 week to set your life in the gear of loving yourself full time. Okay? That means your inner child comes out like a wackadoodle at any time. You understand? Now, on the other side of individuality, there's going to be death there. See, Pluto in the lap of man, you will have to let part of your old individuality go. So I used to be the cool skateboarder on the block. You know what? Let that die. That's dead now. Because now you love yourself for different reasons. So let yourself die. Let the parts of your old self die that are the old individuality that's not how you want to be as an individual anymore. And what is reborn at the very same moment is the new individual, the unique you, which is super uber important. Now, go into the full moon. Where will the moon sit? Why, she sits right there in the house of individuality. In other words, you will be a baby probably about your individuality. You'll be a baby about something in friendship. You might want to be a baby about social life. You might want to be a baby about a bad rep, or that they called you nuts for dressing like a cowboy on an astrology, whatever, something like that. But the point is, this is an opportunity to self-love higher. For the Pisces that self-love higher in the moment of the tantrum, you will be taken, in my opinion, to the next realm. Not, off Earth, I mean success realm, like being able to draw in what you're worth. Now, there's one more thing I'll show you, and it's this. This is a grand trine. When I say grand trine, it means you got to try and make it work. What it's doing is this. Neptune Jesus says you have to be super compassionate with yourself and your character. What that means is that you can't judge yourself. You can't be mean to yourself for what you have been or haven't been. If you are not Jesus with yourself and pardon yourself off of the necessary dust to reconstruct yourself, then you're not going to be able to pull this off. The other thing is you got to be very serious, Saturn, about your beliefs. Take your beliefs very seriously. Pisces are old souls, God's service providers. Same with the Pisces Risings. And a lot of times you're here to stand by the beliefs you know that we don't. All right? So You can't slip on the beliefs. You got to be nice to yourself on the ego character. And you got to bring out your wackadoodle in order to play through this transit. That's what I believe. All right, I'll see you inside. Here we are back in the tranquil setting of what I call Witecki Theater. This awesome star-twinkling, moonlit environment. You'll see it all over the new Soul Garden 8.0. Wherever I want to lay down like a magic carpet for you just to chill out, get spiritual, you'll see. There's a lot of cool things at Soul Garden, including the newly remodeled soulmart.me, where right now you can buy a 1-hour reading with me and get a free 30-minute follow-up. Now this is an excellent sale for people who've never had a reading because you'll really learn to appreciate the power of astrology in your life. And if you've already had a reading with me, well then you know the power. This is a great reading to get to the bottom of an issue and end it for good. Details are all available and a video at soulmart.me in the new remodeled soulmart.me. Also, I've got a class series coming out this summer. The first one's called So You Want to Be an Astrologer, eh? Now this course is really designed for you to have some fun. Bring your chart. We dive into all sorts of aspects of your astrology, and you'll walk away knowing a lot about yourself. So this one's open to the general public, no prerequisites. You'll love it. If you're interested in going further, the next class is, yes, I do want to be an astrologer. At which point I'll talk about using astrology in your profession. I'll share some stories with you about how I got started and where I got taken advantage of, and even reading certain celebrities and things like that. I'm not a name dropper, but in classes, I'll be honest, this is a great class to really figure out if you want to pursue it further. If you do, I've got a class called The Art of Reading People. Now this class is open to the general public as well, and I'll share with you kind of how to sum up a person in a moment using numerology, astrology, and psychic ability, and determining am I psychic or not. So there's some fun like little quizzes in there that help you determine where you are and where you're not. Then if you're interested in diving deep, I've got natal chart interpretation, class 1, class 2, and class 3. It's going to take at least 3 classes to understand it. And finally, my favorite, the ethics of free will in a reading. You know, the truth is psychics get a lot of information, but we don't always share it. Why? Because we don't want to interfere with free will. So this is a fascinating topic and describes a lot of why people perceive to have bad readings or people do have horrible readings, and it's open to the general public too. So all of these are available at soulmart.me and going to be a lot of fun. They're only 2 hours. They're $49.95, and you can come on your webcam. It's awesome. I love new technology. I love HTML5. Now, if you're still on YouTube, hey, do us a favor and please subscribe to our channel. We do appreciate that. If you're on Facebook, you can like our channel by going to soulgarden.me, and you can come to the new shiny penny soulgarden.tv anytime. Don't forget, I've got a little treat waiting for you in each of the 12 horoscopes. I'm so grateful you've shown up for me. I am here showing up for you. I love you. I'll see you in 7 days. Until then, live, love, be.